Absolutely key to my vision, and the thing that excites me when I get up every day, only some days not so exciting, is what's the audience's response to the product. And what's exciting to me is cultural voices reaching the audience of that culture and then taking themselves internationally and speaking to the world. So that's what excites me, is when the rubber meets the road. And that would be, that's what I hope for every day. I hope to hear that there's a new project coming along that's got fabulous potential. There's one of the projects that's previously been funded that is really, really successful. That something like, for instance, this morning, Julia Lee's film Sleeping Beauty is on the front page of Libération, which is a big newspaper in France, and I feel absolutely thrilled about that. So it's when a fabulous project either comes or it arrives and it meets the audience. Well, my favourite film of all time is Godfather 1, 2 and 3 taken as a package, and every now and then I award myself a little film festival of The Godfather, and I dwell in that world for a little while. So that's probably my favourite film of all time, but I don't tend to watch films multiple times because there's always so many new ones to watch. Of course I watch films multiple times in the job, but that's slightly different from what do I go to on the weekend with my own $17. And last weekend I went to Bill Cunningham, New York. I thought it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. As it happened, I'm on a documentary bender at the moment for no reason, it's just that way. The one before that was called Cave of Dreams. I've got a real interest in prehistoric wall paintings. I don't know why, but I find them really interesting. And it was a 3D film which made wonderful use of 3D, kind of felt like you're in those caves. Nobody can go in them. They've been sealed to the public forever to protect them. And so this film was allowed to go in, and that's how I'm allowed to see it. And the one I want to see next is the Jafar Panahi one. This is not a film. He's the Iranian filmmaker who's been jailed for his views, and he made the film when he was under house arrest, and that's got great reviews. But that's an aberration. I wouldn't normally have 3 weekends in a row of documentary. I see myself as primarily a fiction film goer. My favourite Australian film since I've been here is certainly Samson and Delilah. I absolutely loved Samson and Delilah the first time I saw it, but because of the way my job turned out, I actually had to see it 4 times, and I didn't especially want to see it the 3rd and the 4th time, and every time the film rewarded me more. It is such a good film. I absolutely loved that film. My favourite New Zealand film of all time is probably Boy. Yes, probably Boy, although it's hard to say, but I thought Boy again was a film that absolutely looks like a really, really simple film on the outside, but it completely rewarded repeat viewings. These films look so clean in a way, and then they have so many layers underneath them, and I find that really rewarding as a viewer. The most important thing for the writer is to find the right producer and to make a fantastic script. And it's incredibly hard to do. There are hundreds of people writing scripts all over the world, probably thousands, actually, of course there are thousands, and very, very few make it through. It is extremely hard. It's only 90 pages. There's hardly any words on the page compared with a novel. But man, every one of those words is very, very hard to put together in the right order. So I think that a fabulous script, and how could well, firstly the writer just might be able to do it by their own sheer vision and craft, and sometimes it's who are they working with, and they might be working with somebody who's specifically a script editor, and they might be working with the right producer, and if they are, that's a hell of a good start. Having a good idea is a long way from having a good script. I think you have to have a good idea, I think you have to have a good script, I think you have to have a fantastic team. And actually every one of these things has to be fantastic. It can't be good, it has to be fantastic, because the competition is so stiff, with all of the international product that's there. You have to have a fantastic team. Then every attachment you make to your product, and I imagine it like a piece of jewellery, And you know, every time you add a new precious stone to your piece of jewellery, it's either a really beautiful stone or it's an okay stone. And you need to add beautiful stones every time. So who is your sales agent? What territory have you sold to, and who have you sold to in the territory? Because every one of those things matters. Who's your costume designer? Who's your composer? Every single detail matters to the beauty of your jewel. And every single stone that's not quite perfect will make your jewel that much less perfect overall. So I do think it's a matter of enormous care taken with every single piece of the project. And it's very hard and it's very painstaking. And this is film, obviously. When I worked in advertising, the only people whose ideas were really considered of value were the creatives. And the head suit, so advertising's got three kinds of people. It's got the creatives, it's got the suits, and it's got media. The head suit, the head account director, had a sign above his desk which says, "A good idea doesn't mind who has it." And I am completely of that belief. Good idea doesn't mind who has it. They don't mind if a brand has it. A good idea is a good idea, and it's a precious, precious thing.